Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. I have realized I don't want to be the only black woman in a workspace. Y'all, I was watching a video today while I was working about microaggressions and other black people's experiences in the workplace, and I'm telling you now, I thought my experiences was because of like my perception of life, and because I feel like I've been gaslighted into believing that I shouldn't be defensive when I have every right to fucking be defensive, bro. I just realized that shit today. I have not, because I don't know what to put. I really, sometimes in these spaces, you feel so alone, right? So when I'm doing these videos, I'm not really thinking these are microaggressions. I'm just expressing my day to day, right? Really. And I have no problem with sharing how I feel about those things. But when I was looking at, there's a documentary out that's called Black People in the Workplace or something like that. And it is so real. Like, I'm telling you now on YouTube, there's so many experiences that literally detail my everyday experiences since I've been in this position, right? And I want to be very clear. When I was working for Arrow, I experienced the same dynamic. I noticed, even when I was hearing girls say that people would yell at them, right, for mistakes that they've made. I've been in small businesses where that really was the thing. That was the practice of the business owner losing his shit on you, and now you're not you. But by the way, you're not supposed to go off. You're not supposed to react. You're not supposed to do anything because it becomes your fault and not theirs, right? So I've also been in experiences, and I will say my experience with this particular, my current situation is a little bit different in the event that I am more vocal, and I just think that's because a lot of the work that I've done on myself, in the sense that I really don't give a fuck, right? But I also cannot negate the experiences that I have on a continuous basis. And when black people, by and large, right, are saying the same things I'm saying, yeah, that's kind of a problem, right? I was doing research today while I'm at work, and that's unfortunate that I'm having to listen to this because I feel like, again, being the only black person in this space, I have nobody to go to, right? I have nobody that's going to really understand how I feel outside of the people who know exactly what I'm dealing with, right? Obviously, I can't go to my boss because I'll be gaslighted. I'm always told that I'm super defensive. And something I peeped game about, apparently this word defensive, because he finds all these words for me that I'm like, bro, I've never heard before about me, including the word I'm arrogant, right? That's what I heard. But I feel like this. I am very confident in the sense that you're not going to make me feel less than what I actually am, right? And in this video, this documentary I was watching, they were talking about perceived value versus actual value, right? So that's my complaint this morning when I'm sitting here like, bro, look how much I'm making. Look at the shit that I've been doing, the work that I've been putting in comparison to how much I'm making. Oh, we're going to go ahead and do all that, homie. Have fun with that. Oh, you don't really know what kind of car this is, my friend. I just had a Kia run up on me like it's somebody. Let's keep playing. Because we don't got the same car, fool. I promise you that. And he throwing all types of gang signs. He over there looking like, oh, that's a chick. Oh, my bad. She looked like a he. Now what? Have fun with that, lady. I love it. Sorry. Had to put the Kia in her place real quick. We ain't the same kind of car. Have fun with that. But you ain't getting in front of me, homie. And you damn sure ain't getting in front of this Saturn. She about to get in an accident though. She's driving mad crazy. That's funny. I think people, sorry y'all, I think people get fast cars and they get all excited about them, right? So they start speeding everywhere they go. But you wasn't finna speed and ride my ass. Sorry. I had to drive on top so she understand we do not have the same kind of car. Okay, you got a turbo on yours, but ma'am, if you hit my shit, you gonna be paying. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. That shit was crazy. But anywho, so and I think for me the biggest thing is ever since I met Mike, right? There is a level of like people really look at me like the audacity. And I think that's where the label arrogant comes from, right? It's because white people don't seem to understand how the fuck I'm me and don't give a fuck about how they feel about me. All right? That's really the honest to God truth. And if I cannot be myself in a situation, I can't do it. So I will say that I fought hard, and again, it's fighting hard for your spot because unfortunately, people don't see us as equal. Meaning that I should never have to feel like I have to silence myself or keep my feelings to myself when Susie Q was able to share her feelings with no problem, right? I should never have to feel like somebody is checking my temperature every 5 seconds because they really don't know how to deal with black people. They think we're some sort of, we're abnormal in a sense. Oh my God. Hang on. I don't know why this truck, like I get it, but you're not going as fast as a car. So common sense should have said, let the cars go first, and then I'll go since I'm driving so goddamn slow. It's just common sense is not very common anymore. But I should not have to wonder why. Like all the things that I'm dealing with in terms of promotion and how I feel about people who have been promoted and all these different things, right? I should never have to feel that fucking way, bro. And to know that other people in my culture go through the same shit. Like, cause I was just telling y'all about promotions, right? And how always it feels like my promotion just comes from getting a new job. And that's because they don't want to promote me. People don't want to promote me. And I'm thinking it's just a personal thing. No, apparently this occurs with black women, especially all the time. The comments about my hair and is my hair real and trying to touch my hair and shit like that. I don't think white people understand how much that shit builds up, like how much it actually builds up. Even if black women are like, oh, that's okay, we'll just, brush it off. Ultimately, what it sounds like is I am not the only one. It's a progression, right? Which is why more and more every day I'm like, fuck this shit. Y'all do know I went to work. I didn't say, I said morning. That's it. Everybody knows I'm here. I stayed in my office. I stuck to myself and I did my work and I was happy to leave at my normal time. Normally, I don't really care to leave. Like it doesn't bother me. All day today, I was sitting there like, damn, I can't wait till I get home. I can't wait till I get off. Like I have not felt like this about this company up until now. Like these last month and a half. Every day. That's really my feeling behind it. So I'm at a point, y'all, like I said, it's cool. I'm going to keep doing more research as soon as I get home because I really didn't know half the shit I be complaining. Well, not half of it, all of it, right? Everything that I've complained about on this particular channel is other people complain about it too. And I will say this, I'm a little bit more bold in my approach. I had someone call me like man, the word they use, boisterous, I guess is what I was called. Like, these are things I've never fucking heard in my life, right? Now, I speak in a manner to be heard, but I don't know about, like, some of these names that he's saying about me. I'm just like, whatever. If the shoe fucking fits, if that's what you think of me, if that's what you want to say about me, cool. I've never heard those words before. I mean, I've heard them, but y'all know what I mean as it relates to me. And I think people have perceptions of me because, like I told my boss, I'm not as emotional as you think I am, or you think I, he always says, well, if you were working with, there was another white woman who was there who would always slam doors and yell at people anytime she was mad or whatever. And he says, well, if you were to work with her, you probably like try to make it sound like I would be fighting her. And I'm thinking, you don't realize like my emotional intelligence is well above that by now? Like, and I keep telling them like, nah, honestly, I think she and I would have got along. Now, butt heads, yes, you're dealing with a strong personality. But for me to just fight her, no, I don't fight. I haven't fought since I was, 18? Like, I don't fight. That's not my thing. If you want to slam your door in my face or yell at me, I may talk about it on here, right? I may go to my boss and tell him I don't appreciate how I was spoken to, so the world knows. I may even tell her to quit yelling at me, but that's about as far as that conversation will go. The idea that I don't even have a record to where you could be like, oh, well, this is her record, so she might just snap and pop off. Why? Because I'm black? That is a total misconception about me and who I am. Now, can I pop off? Yes. But I'm not going to let some stuffy ass, like, it's not like I haven't been through these circumstances more, like, all my life. You mean to tell me I don't know how to deal with an old white woman that snaps at me because she in the mood today? Get the fuck out of here. And it's shit like that I just be like, yo, who do y'all think I really am? And I say that all day long. That's why when my boss came to me and he's like, well, so who's going to do the appointment? Should I just give them to you? Dude, whatever makes you comfortable, bro. At this point, I don't care. If you want to take responsibility off my plate, cool. For your sake, hopefully it gets done right. But if that whatever makes you comfortable. If you nervous that I'm going to just talk to the client the wrong way, I probably shouldn't be in the position that I'm in, right? That would tell you that. But whatever makes you happy, sir. Like, I'm tired of fighting for a role in a spot, in a position. And I feel like the entire time I've been fighting to show my value and my worth, and I'm actually kind of tired now. That's how that works. I'm really over it. I shouldn't have to feel like I'm having to fight for a spot that I feel like I earned, right? And if I didn't earn it, why am I there? You know what I mean? So it does help to know that other people and learning how other people are dealing with it, and knowing that it's time for me to get out, but I got to plan my exit strategy, right? You're dealing with a person that thinks, and it's so funny how people are, right? Because this idea, and he told me this, you're not going anywhere. Why? Because you pay me less than what I'm worth, and you think that because I make just a little bit more than, what is the word? I'm just barely meeting inflation. Do you guys understand that? Like, my pay is just barely meeting inflation, meaning that I just barely got money to go do what I want to do. If I leave it up to his shit, I don't have no money to go do nothing I want to go do. You see what I'm saying? So I think part of that, people keep black people at the bottom because we are hard workers. And it's a way of keeping us stuck at a position we really don't want to be. You know, it's a way of making sure that we can never come up. And this is why so many black people have more than one. Like, if I'm, as an employee, I've learned the hard way, right? I would never just leave it up to my boss to be able to pay my salary or my hourly job or whatever. I don't trust these people. And the whole conversation about me being defensive, and I know if you guys go back to my older videos, I'm like, was I defensive? Maybe I was defensive, right? Start really questioning my own goddamn self. Like, I don't know how to deal with people. But then when I look at shit, today I told myself, I said, there's no way I could not be defensive. It's the truth. If I'm always feeling like I got to prove my value or prove that my value is worth more than my perceived value, right? Why wouldn't I be defensive? Why wouldn't I have a chip on my shoulder? You understand that? When I got folks telling me, well, how about just a woman, as if you ain't looking at me every day knowing I'm a black woman. Why would I say I'm just a woman? Now, as a Mexican, you may be able to hide your skin color a little bit. I can't do that with me. So I will never, ever disregard the fact that I'm black just to appease somebody else's uncomfortability. That's not happening. And I should have said it, but when he said it, I didn't have the words because I'm like, what? Fool, you're fucking Mexican. You mean to tell me that you don't rep your Mexican shit when it's time for you to rep it? And if I'm telling you that the purpose behind me being in school and wanting to build my career as a black woman, why would you then turn around and say, well, how about just as a woman? Because I'm not a white fucking woman. That's why. Because how you treat a white woman versus how you treat me is completely different. How much you pay that white woman versus how much you pay me is completely different. How much work that white woman has to do to get that pay versus what I gotta do to get that fucking pay is completely different. Do you understand me? Talking to me about why you should, why not just a woman? Well, because not all women are treated equally. You understand that? So, yeah, all this shit boils back down to race at the end of the day. And I don't care how much they try to hide it. My intuition knows that's the shit I'm fucking dealing with. Today, I needed to, it's almost like I don't trust you. I keep telling y'all that. That's how I feel. So I'm done talking about it, y'all. I'm not done talking about it. But I'm going to keep doing my research on it because I'm really curious. Especially, like I said, I didn't realize this was predominantly for people that were the only black person. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe I can show them that black people are not this way that they think that we are. But I realize it don't fucking matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. If I fucking say good morning, if I come in cheery, there's always that one person or two people or three people who don't return the good morning. So now I'm done saying good morning. The fuck? Why I gotta say good morning? I don't even want to say good morning, but I gotta say it to make y'all feel more comfortable. What? And then if you guys remember, in the beginning, I was being told it's all about perception, right? Well, somebody's perception of who I am has everything to do with them. If I am not deliberately being rude or whatever, and you don't hear me yelling at you, and I'm not cussing you out, and whatever, your perception of me is kind of your prerogative. But I am supposed to manage how people perceive me? How the fuck? Instead of turning around and telling them you are in control of who you are and don't take it personal. As a black woman, I got to worry about how you perceive me. What? Do you know how exhausting that is? Do you know how tiring that is? Do you understand how unfair that is? Because I could easily say that when a white man crosses my path, my perception of him might be similar to the mass shooter at King Soopers, right? But I wouldn't treat him as such because I don't know who the fuck he is. He ain't shot me. He ain't shot nobody. I don't know. But I could say that, right? I could really say that. I could really go there and say that. But as a black woman, I gotta watch out about how white people who are insecure, because it's obvious some of these folks are insecure. It's not a question. I gotta worry about how you perceive me because you're not intelligent enough to know that I'm just like you. I just have a different skin color. I may have a little bit different mannerisms, right? But I am overall human. I'm probably more human than anybody. Hue, hence the word hue, man, right? Let's be clear on that. And I was never raised. See, my biggest issue when I say about how we talk, let me tell y'all something. On the East Coast, when I grew up on the East Coast, we were taught who we were as black people. And I was never taught. I was taught that, yes, slavery is, whatever, right? But I was never taught that I was less than. You got to understand that. So you'll never hear me talk about these people, repeat words that show a level of supremacy. I'm not that girl. And I really think that fucks with people. There was another thing where they were saying that anything you say, they got to one up you, right? They got to compete with you. Man, anytime I say something, because you could tell they count my pockets. They trying to figure out how the fuck I am where I am today, and they still begging for a goddamn raise, right? In my opinion, right? And I'm just keeping it a buck. I make a lot more money than they understand. When I told this girl, because she's talking to me or whatever, and she was asking me how much I was paid, and I don't think I went into it with her, but I think she ended up telling me how much she got paid. And if I did, so what? But you could tell she kind of got an attitude. I might have did tell her, well, yeah, I'm getting paid something between this and this. She tells me how much she's getting paid, excuse me. And the woman is maybe 2 or 3 years older than me. Okay? So if you can imagine, and I make it very clear, this ain't my only income. So when you really look at how much I make, I actually make quite a lot, in comparison to about $20,000 more, right? That's a lot. Which is why I'm not, what do they call it? Every time she would try to give me, donate clothes to me, I don't need them donated clothes. I can go buy me some clothes. The fuck? Like, I appreciate it, but I'm not a donated kind of girl. I like to go buy my shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a Goodwill girl. Now, sometimes I'll go, like if I need blazers or personal or professional clothing, stuff that I don't really wear like that, then I might, go to a Goodwill or something like that. If I'm donating clothes, of course I'll go donate at a Goodwill. If I'm homeless or really struggling like that, right, I might go to a Goodwill. But I ain't in neither one of them categories. So I don't know why these old women was offering me donated clothes. I don't need them shits. So now, if you need a babysitter, why do you assume that I need a babysitter? Why don't you understand that I got a daughter's father, that anytime I want my kid to go stay with him, that's where she at? Like, I don't need no babysitter, homie. Like, okay. The shit that these people think about you, and it comes across in their everyday conversation. When that lady told me, oh, yeah, well, I rent this house, and I think they gave it to us at the price that they did because, I'm white. Why the fuck would you say some shit like that, bitch? And again, I didn't say that to her like that. I didn't say that to her like that at all. I'm sorry, I'm not going. I didn't say, obviously in my head I'm thinking it, but I didn't repeat it like that to her. We all know you white. You don't need to reiterate your level of privilege. Like, I don't give a fuck about your privilege as long as I'm good. You see what I'm saying? So when she said it, I was like, well, yeah, duh. Like, okay. And I said it all loud. And you could tell every time I talk, they're thinking about themselves. I went, last week I was so upset, right? She comes in and she keeps trying to talk to me again. They're trying to check my temperature. It's not really that they're trying to talk to me, but they don't know if I'm going to just snap or what because I'm not really communicative, right? And so I ended up talking to her, but I unleashed everything that I thought about that company onto her. I didn't mean it, but it is what it is. So her claim to me was, "Oh, I don't go back and I don't tell the boss." We already know you got to go tell the boss. Everybody know. Go tell the boss what I said. Okay? But I told her, I said, I don't know. I said, it always feels like when I'm not talking, like you guys are coming in, and I said it like this. I said, it feels like you guys are always checking my temperature. I said, instead of just letting me be, right? And instead of, I said, just because I'm not talking don't mean I'm not happy. Now, just like today, I didn't really talk much. Was I happy with my life? Yes. Being there, probably not so much, right? But, and that don't mean that I'm angry and unhappy. Like, there's a lot of, I think a lot of people think because women, I don't know, it feels as though I can't be unhappy with one area of my life. Now all of a sudden I'm unhappy. I don't smile today. Now I'm unhappy. I don't say good morning. Now I'm unhappy. Those are labels people are putting on me that ain't got shit to do with me. Like I told them, you want to know how I'm doing? Come in, but check. I mean, genuinely wanting to know how I'm doing. Checking my temperature, that's a whole nother ball game, and we can tell it because you walk in like you're walking on eggshells. Now, today I had a girl, she came to me, and she was like, well, I need to figure out my login. I can't find it because she's doing tax. Can can you resend it to me? And me, I'm trying to figure out why, because again, she's the first person that we have really using this system. So I'm more asking questions because I'm not going to say, yeah, sure. I'm going to ask you, did you check your email? Did you delete it? Is it in your spam, right? Because I already sent it to you once. I know it's not closed out, which means that you deliberately, I mean, for whatever reason, it ain't no biggie. I just want to know what happened. Is it a system error or did you delete the email? So I'm asking questions and I'm not really, because I'm in the middle of something, right? I got a lot of work on my fucking plate, bro. So I'm sitting here trying to get us cleaned up, ready for tax, right? The lady says, well, and she's talking. Keep in mind, she did most of the talking. I just looked at her. That's it. And then finally she goes, well, never mind. I'll just go look for it. Well, you already had a perception of what you thought I was going to say, and I don't even know you. So because I don't know you and your perception is that I don't want to help you, because that's why you would, never mind, I'll just go find it. I just let her go find it. I'm like, shit, since you answered your question and you thought you was in my head and you think you know what you know, then yeah, you can go ahead and go find that. Have fun with that. I'm sick of people trying to put words in my mouth and then I'm always having to clean it up for them because their brain can't comprehend. Just saying. To her laugh. When she walked away, I was cracking up. I was chuckling to myself because I'm like, really? It really ain't that deep, and you really didn't give me a chance to respond. But because you're trying to read my face and you're failing miserably, you think you already know what I'm about to tell you. So why not let you think it? Same thing with the other girl who, when we're, she's chatting with me and I'm like, hey, I've reached out to the client. This is handled. However, they're asking about X, Y, and Z, so I'm passing them back to you. That's literally all I said. Do you know she chatted me back like, oh my gosh, like literally OMG, exclamation mark. Like I had said something wrong. So then I said, well, and she says, well, I'm sending him to you, and then sends me a whole email after I'd already talked to the client, right? Client and I have already talked about what she sent me, and she talking about, well, yeah, so she'll follow up with you whenever. I said, listen, I think there's a misconception here. I'm simply stating I already talked to the client. They are asking about this. I do not do this. Therefore, I'm asking you to follow up with the client. Well, I'll follow up. Thanks. So now when she chats me, I don't got nothing else to say. You better get your butt up and come walk and talk to me. Otherwise, there ain't nothing to say. Because if it's that easy to get in a miscommunication and your intention is to misunderstand me, right? Because that's what it is. If anything, I wouldn't have sent OMG. That's the wrong way to handle that, right? I would have been, because these girls don't know me. I've been at this company a lot longer than them. So I would have said, and this is me, 'cause we're all adults, right? So funny how these folks will tell you to communicate like an adult, but they don't really want to do that themselves. The first thing that could have, should have came, oh, it's like police over here. Dang. I'm like, dang, what you getting? Chipotle too, sir? I'm going to park right next to you. Okay, I think everybody, maybe I'm early because I got out early. But just that, dang, it's like 100 police officers. Oh, it must be a powwow at Chipotle today, okay? It's a grip of them. It's like 5 or 6 of them, and their cars look all beat up and like, dang, they need new cars. Denver needs new patrol cars. Their cars are jacked up. Um, but anyway, I'm finna get out in a second, y'all. But it's just the premises that as a black woman, I feel like how white people feel is always placed on me. There's never a level of accountability in these spaces. And because, see, my boss is weird. Again, I love him to death. I don't like him sometimes, but I love him to death, if that makes sense, because he does identify, right? Again, when these folks are Mexican, right, they do understand where we be coming from. And my boss understands me more than I think I know sometimes. I just think he's had more experience with simulation than I have, and the things that he's done, he's teaching me to do, and I'm like, I don't really know if I really want to do all this, right? Is it really fucking worth it at the end of the day? If I go through all this and I'm shucking and jiving to make everybody feel comfortable, am I going to be promoted? That's really where my conversation is right now. Like, really, bro? Are we really having this combo right now? So it is a real thing. And I didn't realize everything I had been talking about was exactly what other black people go through and experience and are tired of. And this is why they have to bring in migrants, because blacks ain't really wanting to fuck with this shit no more. And women are different because black women, again, we're the beginner. What do they say? The most entrepreneurs, right? And so a lot of your black women, they're leaving these corporate spaces and they're going and starting their own. And so I've got a few tips on how I can mitigate any damages that come from this particular situation. I'm going to be, like I said, I already had it in the plan and the works to start saving my money as much as possible. And you see, I'm at Chipotle. But it's okay. So that's where I'm at, y'all. That's how I feel. I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. But I didn't realize how much of a deal this really was, like how big of an experience it really, really was, which is why the conversation of diversity and inclusivity is such a big deal. And I did not understand it really because I had been an entrepreneur. Like, I was working on my own. I really didn't have to deal with that shit. Now I'm being back in the workforce. I'm like, oh, this shit is very difficult to navigate because my patience is not there. So that's all I got to say on the matter, y'all. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.